The Malawian government has signed extradition papers for Shepherd Bushiri and his wife Mary Bushiri, joined now by the Malawian Information Minister, also the spokesperson, Gospel Kazako. Minister, I do appreciate you joining us here on Newzroom Afrika at short notice. Thank you very much indeed. Just explain the significance of this step. How important is it? I think it's the equivalent of your Home Affairs Minister who signed this document. How significant is this step?
What it means is there's now progress, there's now movement. The minister responsible, this is the Minister for Homeland Security, has signed the documents, and the Attorney General will be taking these documents to the High Court in Lilongwe. What they are seeking for the issuance of the warrants of arrest for the Bushiri. So yeah, there's some movement.
Does the court now have to agree with any decision by your government to extradite the Bushiris here?
No. In Malawi, we have very independent courts. And at the moment, we don't know what the court will say or what the court will rule or what the court will decide. In this country, we have an independent judiciary. What the state has done is to make the necessary submissions for the court to look at them. And it is in the same vein that we may also not be able to know until when the court will rule, because, as you know, Malawi has an independent judiciary. So it might be done maybe tomorrow, maybe next week. We are yet to hear. But this has been submitted to the High Court this afternoon.
And does Shepherd Bushiri and Mary Bushiri, do they get a chance to actually argue in court? Do their lawyers get to argue against this step? Do they get to say it in front of the judge, actually, you shouldn't grant this?
Come again? I can't hear you clearly.
Do the Bushiris have the right to have a lawyer in court to argue against this step? Can they say that this warrant should not be granted?
In Malawi, we have one of the finest judicial systems, one of the finest judicial systems, and we are a democratic state, and we also respect human rights. So the Bushiris have the right to have a lawyer. The Bushiris have the right to have legal representation to argue on their behalf. So yeah, nobody can stop them because in Malawi we respect human rights.
Okay, sure. That's what I wanted to know. Now, many countries around the world have a system where when it comes to the extradition of one of their citizens, so for example, if a South African citizen were to be extradited to Malawi, I understand the system, it would go through a court process, and often the president of that country, the head of state, has to actually sign off. In this case, we as South Africa are asking your country, your government, to extradite two of your citizens. Would your Prime Minister have to sign off on that in the end? Once it's gone through the court process, would your Prime Minister also have to sign up to this?
Firstly, you must know that Malawi is not just one of the many countries that you are referring to. Malawi is a country of its own, and we become very different from the rest of the countries because we have a very good judicial system. To just refer that many countries do this or do that, and then Malawi should do the same, that's not how we operate. We have our laws here, we have our systems here, and that's what we'll be following. We need to check whether there will be need for the president to sign. If indeed that's what the law says, then that will happen. If that's not what the law says, then it doesn't have to be that way. We find this very simple to handle. We find it simple because we are one country. We might have a smaller GDP than other countries, but I can assure you our GDP in terms of the rule of law is very high, very high, better than most of the countries that you look at as having GDP economical or a higher GDP economical. So we follow our laws. And we'll be informed by our laws in this country.
Well, Minister, I take it that you are the Minister of Information. I do understand the point that you're making. The reason I ask all of this is because your Prime Minister is in fact a supporter of Bushiri. I mean, we know this. I'm not arguing with you. It's a fact. Your Prime Minister, in fact, has already planned to go and be part of one of his events over New Year's Eve. I mean, that's right, isn't it?
No. You are telling me as if that is true. Why are you choosing to be a victim of social media, the low side of the social media? What you are referring here, I hope this is not what you have been telling your people in your broadcast, that the President of the Republic of Malawi will be attending Bushiri's event on the 31st of December. That is not true. You must learn and be quick to be consulting, confirming whether this is true or not. What you are referring to here is not true. The President will not be attending Bushiri's event, and that was just a social media low side. And I'm very surprised, almost shocked that you are taking that one as the truth. Please learn to tell the truth. Truth is very important. So that doesn't come in. The President will not be attending that event. I don't know where you got this from, but we also saw it in the social media, but that's not true at all.
Appreciate
so let me also mention that in Malawi we don't have a prime minister. We have a president. We do not have a prime minister. We have a president. Because you're keeping on referring to prime minister. No, we have a president in this country. But you see, let me mention this. The South African people, the South African government should not be worried or should not have certain concerns on how we are going to handle this issue. We are a very organized, very organized nation. We are a very, very great nation in as far as issues to do with the law are concerned. We are going to handle this. We have got huge capacity to handle this. In any case, this is not the first time that we are handling such an issue. It looks like there is some concern because people are, or maybe in South Africa is our friend, of course, we respect them, we appreciate them. But it looks like there is some sort of looking at us with eyes that are putting on lenses that are making us look smaller. Yeah, you might look at us that way, but I can assure you, as far as the law is concerned, we are much bigger than most of the countries in the world. We have one of the finest judicial systems. So you don't have to really panic. You need to relax. We are going to follow the law, and everything is going to be done very well, and justice will prevail. I think there will be need for Bushiri to be sent to South Africa, to be extradited to South Africa. He will be extradited to South Africa. And that decision will have been done or would have been made using the law. If there will also be no need for us to extradite Bushiri to go to South Africa, it will also be something that would have been done because of what the law says. So you really don't have to panic.
Minister, you can prove it to us in this way. We were not able to keep Bushiri in our country. He was able to escape. That's one of the reasons I think South Africans are so cynical. He's not able to escape your country, right? You'll make sure that doesn't happen.
No, I think if he escaped your country, you must know that he doesn't come from your country. Bushiri escaped from your country to come to this country. And this is where he is safe. This is his home. If Bushiri thought that this is not his destination, or probably he was not going to be safe, or probably he could have been planning to escape, then he probably couldn't have come here. He chose here because he's safe. He chose here because this is his home. So I do not think that it puts a very good argument that because he escaped from your country, then you think you have no capacity to look after him. But in any case, at the moment, we don't have to look after him because he's a free person in this country according to our laws. The courts had ruled that he'd be free. You know, he was under arrest. He was arrested. He spent a night in the cooler. But our courts said this man is a free man. So he's living freely in this country. And he's not living freely in this country because we just want to do that or we just don't want to do that. No, it's because that's what the law says. And that's what we believe in. We are a country that believes in the law. So you don't have to panic. You really have to relax. And let me also take this opportunity to say this, that we look at South Africa as our great partner, our great friend, And you are aware that our president was there. President Lazarus Chakwera was there in South Africa, cementing our relationship. And at the moment, I know the South African media is doing all it can to create a narrative that there is an overstretching of some sort in our diplomatic relationship. There isn't any. Our diplomatic relationship is as healthy as it has been for so many years. And look, we cannot overstretch or injure our relationship because of one citizen. Remember, you have about 60 million people in South Africa, and our population here is about 19 million. This is an issue involving one person. I think it will not be wise for the two nations to look at it from an angle where we have to stretch our diplomatic relationship. That's not how we are looking at it. The two countries are happy with each other. The two governments are doing what they're supposed to do. The two judicial systems will be doing what they're supposed to do, and all the prosecuting authorities certainly will be relating to each other and making sure that whatever is being done is following the law, and that justice must be brought out, and everyone must see that justice is being done.
Minister, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you. Gospel Kazako is the government spokesperson and information minister for the government of Malawi.